The Governing Council decided the following. First, we will continue to conduct net asset purchases under the Pandemic Emergency Purchase Programme with a total envelope of 1,800 billion euros until at least the end of March 22, and in any case, until the Governing Council judges that the coronavirus crisis phase is over.
Morning, Joe. Yeah, the European Central Bank doing what economists thought they were going to do. They added to their pandemic emergency purchase program by 500 billion euros. By my count, that takes it up to 1.85 trillion total. It is an absolutely historic week, both in terms of the speed of Fed purchases and, of course, the magnitude. Here's a chart that shows what's happened since the March. The last 3 weeks have seen this huge ramp up in ways that you've never seen before. But let's look at what's changed here since the Fed last met. We got the $1.9 trillion in relief enacted by Congress, signed by the president.
Senate Democrats have just released a text of their $3.5 trillion budget resolution.
Can you characterize everything that the Fed has done this past week as essentially flooding the system with money?
Yes, exactly.
And there's no end to your ability to do that?
There is no end to our ability to do that.
Simply flooded the system with money?
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally. So we as a central bank, we have the ability to create money digitally. And we do that by buying treasury bills or bonds or other government guaranteed securities. And that actually increases the money supply.
We do believe that inflation numbers in 21, which we will see rising.
I can't find any period in history where monetary and fiscal policy were this out of step with the economic circumstances, not one. In 6 weeks last spring, we did more QE, more purchase of treasuries than we did the entire time in the 9-year period from 2009 to 2018.
And if we ever get an inflationary psychology, like for instance, we did when I was in my 20s, back in the 70s, if we ever get that again, and if you ever got retail actually nervous about inflation, then the one thing that leads inflation, which is commodity prices, it's the easiest tautology there is. Those things can literally scream double or triple with no problem whatsoever. And valuations for both interest rates and stocks are at, if you combine the two, they're so overvalued. They're at 100-year highs. I don't know what you do.
I am so afraid of a democracy getting the idea that you can just print money to solve all problems. And eventually I know that will fail. At the end, if you print too much, you end up in something like Venezuela.
It's mathematics. The fiat currency is now the error term that solves the growth in the numerator, which is your total global debt, versus the denominator, which is total global GDP. And we have reached a point of no return where the numerator is going to outstrip the growth of the denominator under any plausible scenario, which means you need to print money to solve that debt spiral.